My clock says 1 minute.
You got the same clock I do.
Okay.
Here's the procedure for getting going in and out.
Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Good morning and welcome to the December 21st, 2020 meeting of the Board of County Commissioners, Shawnee County, Kansas. I'm joined today by Commissioner Aaron Mays, who represents District 3, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. I'm Bill Rippon, Chair, and I represent District 1. Due to COVID-19, we're conducting our regular meetings in a virtual format. Please mute your phone and computer until it's your time to speak. If you're a county employee or official, please announce your name and title. This will help everyone follow along to whoever's speaking at that particular time. If you're a member of the public and you need accommodations to listen or participate in the meeting, please contact the County Commission Office at 785-251-4040 or email the commission at commission.mail@snco.us. We'll be using a roll call vote again today, and I will do the Pledge of Allegiance solo. So if you'd mute your phones at this time and computers, I will do that. We get a little bit of an echo effect if we try to all do it at once. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, what say you?
Okay, the first item today is item 3, consent agenda.
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor? Well, roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
item 4, new business A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have 2 voucher reports, the same as we've had for some time. The first voucher is our normal voucher, and that was for $2,514,920.30. The highlights out of that voucher report: under bridge, $634,871.11. That went to Bettis Asphalt and Finian Turnip Seed for 2 different projects. Under court, $118,267.60. The majority of that was for Binswanger Glass for the COVID protections in the courtrooms. Under detention center, we had $552,030.87, which went to Timekeeping Systems Incorporated and Horizon Health. Under Stormont Vale Event Center, $84,054.32. Health insurance claims by employees, $119,519.38. And finally, under solid waste, $667,273.57, of which the majority of that was TLG operations. Under CARES, $380,402.30. That went to community-based programs. And Capper Foundation, Ranch Land Trust of Kansas, Stormont Vale Healthcare, Topeka Center for Peace and Justice. Under schools, USD 437, Auburn Washburn, Hayden High School, Holy Family, and USD 372, Silver Lake. I do not have any questions regarding the voucher. Would move for approval of both.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move that we approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item B, Public Works, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C 546-2020 with CAS Constructors LLC for all wood work covering the installation of a new teacup grit removal system at the Sherwood Treatment Plant at a lump sum of $589,011 with immediate funding from the KDHE revolving fund and future loan repayments beginning in February of 2022, coming from the 100% user fee funded solid waste water account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. We've been talking about this teacup project for quite a while. It's time to start work on that project. And in order for us to do so, I need the Commission's approval to authorize and execute a contract with CAS Contractors in the amount of $589,011. This contract amount will cover the full costs of installation of the new teacup and ancillary items. There is a $25,000 contingency included in that contract. Any unused portion of that contingency will be refunded. Half of that, 50% of that unused portion, will be refunded back to the county. Also, the contract includes approximately $23,100 for some ancillary work that we feel now's the time to do that. We're going to be working on the teacup, and that there's no reason at this time not to replace some equipment or piping that is right next to the teacup. Ultimately, it will be cheaper to do it now than to do it later. As the county clerk mentioned, all of this work will be covered by the KDHE revolving loan, which will ultimately be paid back using user fees. With that, I look forward to your questions.
Any questions or comments?
I have none.
I will.
Real quick, Kurt, on the breakdown of the total project cost, it looks like the teacup installation actually came back quite a bit higher than what we had originally estimated. Am I reading that correctly?
Commissioner Mays, you are. The $520,000 loan estimate was really just a rough estimate. We had very little knowledge at the time of what would be involved. The total project cost, not including this contract, but also the phase 1 portion, will be $613,000. At this time, I'm not concerned about the increase. It's just one of those things. When we got into the project, it was a little more expensive. I think the fact that KDHE is involved along with federal funds increased the project cost just a tad also. So you are correct, but I think at this point, there's nothing to worry about.
Okay, and then is this the last of the projects that are included on that KDHE loan? Or I believe there are a couple other projects out there in the vicinity of the wastewater treatment facility.
just as a refresher, the teacup is the first project that will begin work. Then we have the pump stations and collection system work. Plans are presently being prepared for those projects. We hope to let those projects, they are traditional let projects. We hope those will let sometime in mid-2021. And then our final project will be an assessment and upgrade of the treatment plant. So this is the first of a number of projects that we hope to have going before the end of 2021.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
I'd move to approve unless there's other questions.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Next, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item B2, consider approval of request to fill vacant inventory specialist 1 position at a salary including benefits of no less than $42,113.12 with funding from the Public Works Equipment Maintenance Fund.
Courtney House, Director of Public Works. We recently had a vacancy in our parts position down in the garage. This position is important because obviously without parts, you can't repair your equipment or your vehicles. So specifically, this position is a person that orders parts, goes to get parts, looks on the computer for the correct part. So it is an important position and we do look forward to filling it with your approval. Questions?
Any questions or comments?
No, I'll move to approve.
I'll
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item C, information technology, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C 547-2020, purchase of a Cisco wireless access controller through Optives utilizing state of Kansas contract pricing at a cost of $22,417.69 with funding for the 2020 information technology budget.
Morning, Commissioners. Pat O'Blander. I'm the Director of the Information Technology Department. This item is a request for purchase of a Cisco wireless access controller, which is the appliance that manages all of the wireless access points that are installed throughout buildings in Shawnee County. It's what maintains the configuration of all of those access points so that only the authorized people can get into them and that communications across them are appropriately encrypted. This is a state contract purchase through Optive, our security provider. And if you have any further questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Any questions or comments?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item D, corrections, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C 548-2020, a 3-year renewal of the equipment preventive maintenance agreement with Sound Products, Inc. to maintain the system and network controls for the security doors at a cost of $2,280 monthly with funding from the departmental operating budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. Well, this is Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. My video is on over here, so I don't know why it's not working. But this is a request or a renewal of a contract, a 3-year contract with Sound Products regarding the maintenance preventative and equipment for our continuous and our security system, which includes our cameras, our security doors, our intercoms, system, our backup equipment. This is sound products that we have had for some time. I think it is important to know that we did look at the other companies, especially the one that is at the courthouse, and we found this our current contract with Sound Products to be less expensive, and we get more access on site, which is what we need. We have somebody from Sound Products in here almost 2 or 3 days a week. So we found this to be more responsive and less expensive, and that best fits our needs. We did work with Pat Oblander and Betty Greiner with this, and I would stand with any for any questions you may have.
Any questions or comments? I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next item.
Item E, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C486-2020 renewal agreement with Cartograph Systems LLC for the continued use of the OMS software at a first-year cost of $100,731.36, with a 3% increase annually for 2 years, and 3 with annual cost to be split between Parks and Recreation 70% and Public Works 15% and Solid Waste 15%.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Department. As Ms. Beck said, we do share Cartograph with Solid Waste and Public Works. Parks and Recreation mainly, we use Cartograph for a lot of things, specifically asset management. That's probably the biggest use. We use it for fleet management. It tracks our work history. We use it at our cemetery for cemetery operations, tracking burial plots and such, volunteer tracking, and See-Click Fix is actually part of Cartograph. So for those that don't know, if you are out in a park or one of our trails and you see something that needs to be repaired, you can take a picture of that, submit it on See-Click Fix, and that comes right through into Cartograph as a work order. So it's an important part of our operations, and we would like to extend the contract, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Tim, there was I had a question about some people said they couldn't generate reports from their end, people out in the field. What did you find out?
Yeah, what I did find out on that, Bill, is that that is one of the things with Cartograph is that you have to be at a desktop to run your reports. So you can't run the reports from the mobile devices like an iPad or your phone. You need to be on an actual desktop or a laptop computer. So while they were out in the field, they wouldn't be able to run that report. They would have to be, unless they had a laptop with Wi-Fi, but normally you would be at your desk in front of a PC to do that.
We have to pay then extra for each desktop that's able to generate a report, or is that just part of the licensing agreement that we have?
Yeah, that's just part of the licensing. So
Okay.
Anybody that has a license is able to run reports. They just can't necessarily do it on their, they just have to be in front of their desk.
Okay. You know, my big concern with a lot of these, though, it's too much data. Sometimes we sometimes keep track of too many things too much. Data is good, but sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can just overload yourself with kind of bureaucracy. And so that would be my only caution, is not to tie up too much time of employees and just keeping track of everything. Any other questions or comments?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item E2, consider authorization and execution of contract C 549-2020, amendment number 1 to contract C 21-2018 with Genesis Health Clubs for the continuation of managing the Crossover Tennis Center in Belker Park through December 31st, 2023, with additional expenses of $36,000 available from the Park Services operation budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Department. We've been working with Genesis since 2018 to operate the Crossover Tennis Complex. They've been a great partner. They do a fantastic job. We would like to extend this agreement for one more year. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Actually, scratch that. We want to extend it through December 31st of 2023. But with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, comments? Tim,
Mr.
you've worked with Tennis Association with all this, and they're good with everything?
We did, Commissioner Rippon. We worked on the details of the agreement, and when we thought we were ready to move forward, we shared those with the Topeka Tennis Association. They had a chance to review them and sign off before we brought it to the commission.
Okay, very good. All right. No other comments or questions. I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item E3, consider authorization and execution of contract C 550-2020, amendment number 2 to contract C 99-2019 with Design Assauer, that's cute, for continued service with concepts, design, and layout of the Parks and Recreation seasonal guides and promotional brochures not to exceed $5,000 per guide and $1,500 total for brochures with funding from the Parks and Recreation operations budget.
Tim Laurent, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Department. Cindy, I had to practice this one a little bit before we started,
that.
so don't feel bad.
I like that.
It
That's
is
a nice.
Design Assauer is the name of the company, and we've been working with them for some time. This one we would like to extend for 1 year. This does lock in the price that we're currently paying, and like I said, they do a great job. So be happy to answer any questions.
Tim, how many times a year does the guide come out?
I believe 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah, we've had some, through this COVID situation, we haven't been on our regular schedule. So we've been backing it up and changing things, but typically I believe it is 3 times a year.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? I will move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item E4, consider approval of request to award the bid to Ace Electric for the removal of the power poles and installation of new power poles in Crestview Park in the amount of $19,000, utilizing building maintenance 3R funds, and the authorization and execution of contract C 551-2020 for same.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Department. We are asking to work with Ace Electric to remove some power poles near the Crestview Community Center. These poles are in bad condition. That's really a safety concern. And we're able to remove some poles and some overhead lines and then bury the existing lines. So we think this is an improvement. Not only are we getting these poles that are definitely a safety issue, but we're also, I think, improving the looks of the area, and be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions or comments? Yeah, I wanted to see some of that electricity buried for a long time, so I'm happy to see that's going to happen here. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item E5, consider approval of request to award the bid to Nuco Pump Sales and Services for the alternate selection of the irrigation pump system replacement at Lake Shawnee in the amount of $96,770, utilizing the Gulf Revolving Fund, and authorization and execution of contract C-552-2020 for same.
Good morning once again, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Department. It is my understanding that we have been operating for quite some time at Lake Shawnee Golf Course without full use of all of our pumps. There's actually 3 pumps that bring water from the lake to irrigate the golf course. And one of those has been inoperable for some time. And so we've been operating in a very inefficient way. You did approve us to go out for bids on this process, or proposals on this project. And we did receive several. We are asking to go with not necessarily the lowest. The lowest bid is from the same company that we're wanting to go with today, but the lowest bid was to go in and rebuild our existing equipment. And there much more is to replace all of that equipment with brand new. So we felt like that was a wise choice. I do have Chris Curtis here with me, our park planner, who's been worked on this project pretty extensively. So if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. But one more thing, and I know Cindy did mention it, but this is paid out of our Golf Revolving Fund. So it's being paid by golfers, by users, no impact on the taxpayers. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
Tim.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, so Tim, you said this is one of 3 pumps. Do we have any idea of the condition of the other 2 pumps? Is this something that we're going to have to do again soon?
No, actually, this bid will replace all 3. So when they're done, the entire system, at least the pumps and the motors and everything in that realm, and also it's called the variable frequency drive, which controls the water flow. So that's being replaced as well. So everything out there, other than the irrigation heads and the irrigation lines, those will stay. But everything to do with the pump system will be brand new.
And
that variable frequency drive is kind of important because it allows for that when those pumps turn on, it allows for that water to be brought in at a variable rate. Whereas before, when the pumps turned on, it was just full force and it put a lot of pressure on the system. So this not only is it's better for the new equipment, but it should prolong the life of the rest of the system as well.
Good. And what kind of a warranty does this have, or you know?
Yeah, I've got that information somewhere. Well, I had it. Well, Chris is mad at me right now because he gave it to me before I came in here. But we have 1 to 2 years on virtually every piece of equipment there. Okay. So it's not a lifetime warranty, but I believe it was between 1 and 2 years, depending on what piece of equipment we were talking about.
Okay. Thank you.
Tim, do we have any other pumps out there? Are we pumping out of ponds or anything, or is this the total irrigation system that these 3 pumps?
I believe this is the total irrigation system. So this is it. We do have some fountains and things in some of the ponds, but they're not part of the irrigation system.
Okay.
We feel really good about this project, to be honest. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a substantial amount of money, and And it's not something that you're going to notice when you drive out to Lake Shawnee Golf Course, but it is, I think it is a real investment in the future, and we feel good about it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, I will move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Next item.
Item F, Commission number 1, reflect that Commissioner Mays is appointing Leonard Len Richter to the Civil Services Board as the 3rd Commission District Representative.
Hey, good morning, Commissioners. I had a vacancy open up on the Shawnee County Civil Service Board recently. So I'd like to nominate Len Richter. He's by profession, he's an accountant, certified government financial manager, spent 31 years with the federal government, worked for the Coast Guard as a civilian, as an accountant, and was part of the team that brought that came to Topeka from the East Coast and designed, built, implemented, and maintained their first computer payroll system. He retired there in 2004. He spent 25 years as a reserve deputy with the sheriff's office. He worked for the Washburn Police Department for a couple of years, and then where I met him was at the Capitol Police. He started there in January 2005 and retired there just this year. So Len's got a breadth of knowledge and experience to bring to this board to be a tremendous asset to Shawnee County. I would move for his nomination. Or I don't need to make a motion, do I?
I don't know. I think we can.
I think it's just an appointment, so.
It's an appointment. Typically, you make a motion and we approve it that way.
Okay.
I
So
will
moved.
second. It sounds like Lynn's a good fit for this position, so. Motion was made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Lynn. Next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Okay, at this time, any department head or anyone who'd like to speak on any subject can come forward. Nothing here.
Morning,
Commissioner-
Commissioner Jim Krause, Shawnee County Councilor. Sorry, I didn't announce myself when I entered in on that parliamentary item. Back on item E5, Commissioner Mays asked a question about the warranty length on that pump. Our bid specifications required a 5-year minimum on-site warranty. When we bid out items, typically we'll have warranty specifications in there. Doesn't mean we'll always end up with the same warranty after negotiations, but I'm assuming that's where we ended up with. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. All right, back to administrative communications. Commissioner Mays, do you have any?
Kurt just turned on his camera. Kurt, did you have something?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. I still don't see it.
I apologize. I just wanted to announce that our bridge project at 39th and Green Hills Road opened to traffic on Saturday. So we've got 2 bridge structures that are complete and the road is open.
Very good. Anyone else? Okay, now I'll go to commissioners. Commissioner Mays, do you have anything?
Nothing from me today.
Okay, Commissioner Cook.
Happy to be out of quarantine and healthy, and everyone else is out of quarantine as well. We do have a special JADO meeting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. by Zoom, where we will discuss the economic opportunities to small businesses that have been impacted by the county's orders as well as by COVID.
Thank you. I'm gonna put another ad in for our Winter Wonderland 2-mile light display at Lake Shawnee. It's on the east side of the lake, just off Croco Road. We'll be going through from now through December 31st, and it's for a great cause. So it's not too late to pack up the family and go out and look at the lights. We do have a need for an executive session. So I would like to make a motion to go into executive session not to exceed 20 minutes for the following reasons: for consultation with the attorney, for the public body or agency which would be deemed privileged in an attorney-client relationship related to Parks and Recreation Department, 15 minutes, and to discuss personnel matter of non-elected personnel, specifically for salary, not to exceed 5 minutes. No action is expected at this time. Why don't we start in about 5 minutes, and we will
Second.
then go to executive session. All right.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. Roll call vote.
Rippon,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. See you in about 5 minutes. Can I just minimize this Zoom and bring it back? I can't do that, can I? think we're just. Do we have Commissioner Mays yet?
Not yet that I see.
Oh, there we go.
I was having a hard time finding the link again.
All right. We are now back in session. No actions taken at this time, so we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good Christmas.